Hi, I'm cooking my bacon and there will be eggs. I'm going to have my breakfast, my very late breakfast in a minute, which is my practice. But after that, I'm going to share with you a couple of anecdotal things that happened over the last few days. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you some photographs, some before, way before photographs. I had no idea, guys. No idea I was that big. I knew I was overweight, but I had no idea I was that big. And these photographs weren't even at my heaviest. So, talk about getting out of your comfort zone, which has kind of been a theme of mine over the last 3 years. I'm going to be doing the opposite. I'm going to be putting out photographs to the interwebs that I would have burned if I had copies of them, or I would have beaten up the person who took them if I could have. Anyway, I'll see you after breakfast, and we'll talk about what happened over the last couple of weeks. Thanks. Okay, breakfast eaten, dishes put away. Over the last less than a week, I've been in circumstances where people have seen me that hadn't seen me in a little while. You know, when you start losing weight and people see you, it takes a while for them to either notice that you've lost weight or to be comfortable addressing it. Let's face it, that can be a landmine. Someone says, "Oh, wow, you look great. Have you lost weight?" They always run the risk of saying, "No, why? Do I need to lose weight? What are you saying?" So some people won't say anything about weight. But people who, sometimes they're not sure it's different. It's usually, "Have you done something different with your hair?" No, but I did lose 20 pounds. So anyway, that kind of starts at the beginning. And that's great. It's always so motivating when someone notices that you've lost weight, if you're trying to lose weight. As you don't see people as frequently, and the weight loss becomes greater, they are often taken aback. And I will tell you that I have had people who have not seen me in a while literally did not recognize me, which is the greatest compliment I can get. Truth be told, I have a brother who didn't recognize me. I hadn't seen him in a long time. He lives in the Virgin Islands, and there was a big party, and I got there, and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great. How you doing, brother?" What? So that was great. That was fun. When people are comfortable enough sometimes to talk about your weight, they'll sometimes ask, "How much have you lost?" Well, and I did have a new low this week. Tuesday morning, it equals 92.1 pounds down from the time I started keto. It's 110.2 from my heaviest weight that I know of. Heaviest because, when you're really big, sometimes you don't get on the scale. What? No way you've lost 92 pounds. What? You didn't have that much to lose. No way. Yes, I did. I lost 92.1 pounds. You were never that big. So I will say, well, thank you. I'm glad you didn't think so, but I really was morbidly obese. On 2 separate occasions, 2 different venues, different people said, "I would never have described you as being fat. Pudgy. Pleasantly plump." 2 people used exactly those same phrases. And these are not people that shine you on. These are people that were genuinely surprised that a person who's 5 feet 1 inches tall, when I'm standing up straight, could lose 92 pounds if they didn't think that that person started out as a very overweight person. So I'll take that. I said, "It's just obviously you love me for my spirit, and we're not looking at my exterior." Take it as a high compliment. So then I pulled out this photograph, which, whether you're on my YouTube channel or on my blog, you can see up. I'm dressed in a pale blue shirt. And that was kind of my before. That was taken probably 6 months before I started the ketogenic diet. So I was about the same place where I was when I started in January of 2014, coming up on 3 years. Okay, so that's been my standard before picture. I have another one where I'm wearing a gray shirt and it just kind of looked like a slob. I'm sure I had, something drizzled on me because I was not in a good place. I didn't care about how I looked very much. So I certainly didn't dress very well. So that's another one that can, oh wow, you don't even look like the same person. Yesterday, a very dear friend of mine, whom I met whilst training for a series of sprint level triathlons back before I was doing ketogenic, back when I was like, okay, I got to do something. Let me try to eat less and move more. Again, right? Excellent training, excellent coach, fun experience for as fun as a triathlon can be for a super fat person, and met a really great friend. So if nothing else, that came out of it. Long ago, as I think I said earlier, friends and family were absolutely ordered not to let me see photographs of myself. If they must take photographs of me, I cannot see them because it would shoot me into a depression. It was terrible because, denial is a serious situation. And when something tries to crack that denial, it rocks your world. So this friend, we'd done the triathlons together. She's quite fit and strong. There were photographs. Her husband had taken photographs during the triathlon. The first one we did, I think, 4 that summer. By the way, I finished them all. I always finished after the results had been posted. That's how slow my times were. She told me, well, I asked her actually, did she happen to have any photographs? Because I was looking for some more before photos. People have asked. And frankly, someone thought I was making this up. No, not making it up. So yesterday she sent me the photographs. She and I actually met at Barnes & Noble and she showed them to me on her screen. And then she sent them to me. I'm appalled that I looked like that. I knew I was big. I didn't know I was round. Round. Now, I'm going to show these photographs, some of them. If you have a squeamish stomach, avert your eyes. Seriously. I share all of this not because I am happy about it. Well, I am happy about not being in that weight anymore. I share this because I want you to see that if a really, really, really heavy person who is not a youngster anymore and who'd spent 30 years, 25, 30 years really overweight can do this, it can be done, okay? Don't let anyone tell you you can't stick with it, that it's bad for your health. I mean, more and more evidence is coming out. That is simply not true. It's not true. But take the science for what it is. Take the experience for what it is. If I can do this, you can do this. Now, I will say, my regimen is that I follow 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs. I don't do net. Many people are very successful with net carbs. But as closely as I can, I have followed Dr. Eric Westman's protocol. It's called Page 4 protocol. It has many different names. It's essentially 20 grams or fewer of carb a day, total carbs. Moderate protein. That's a hard question. At the last support group meeting, I actually asked him, what is his recommendation? He says protein is so different for everybody. I try to just make sure my protein comes wrapped in fat and it'll take care of itself. It's hard to overeat protein without feeling unwell, particularly if you're getting nice fatty protein. Ribeyes, chicken with the skin, chuck roast, the cheap meats, the cheaper foods other than ribeye are the best ones because they have the most fat. Ground chuck. 22% fat rather than the 15% fat, etc., etc. So 20 grams or fewer of carb. I don't get in as many leafy greens as he recommends. I'll get in some vegetables. I just don't eat much, so vegetables are the last thing I eat. Moderate protein, don't eat when you're not hungry. When I started, I ate a lot of food, all of it allowable. I ate a big breakfast of bacon and eggs and cheese and coffee. I'd have lunch. I'd either make my lunch. Very often I'd make a hamburger with cheese and have some mayonnaise with it. Ooh, it's so good. Hardee's, if I was on the run, Hardee's are a local chain around here, sells a low-carb burger. It's just bacon and cheese, whatever, wrapped in lettuce. It's a little drippy, but it's good. I'd have a snack in the afternoon of shredded cheese with some pepperonis and some red pepper flakes. Pop it under the broiler for about a minute and a half. I'd eat all of that, essentially a crustless pizza. And then I'd have dinner. Salad, ribeye, or pork chops, nice fatty pork chops, etc. I ate a lot of food, and I lost weight. As I've gotten smaller, I just don't need as much food, and I've lost my interest in food to a great deal. It is the thing that heavy people would pray for. Please let me be somebody who just wants to look at food as fuel. I don't look at it as joy. I don't look at it as celebration. I only eat because I need to when I'm really hungry. Food is not the boss of me anymore. So I don't try to make, for me, I don't try to make recipes or foods or treats that are maybe borderline carb friendly. For one thing, I don't want to think about food that much. I want to think about other things. Sometimes I just think about nothing. All this said, I don't care what your starting point is. And if you're someone who like me, could not look at a photograph of yourself, take them anyway. Take photographs, take them daily in the same position. Take them weekly. Measure. I never took any body measurements. I wish I had. I can tell you I started out in a size 24W blue jean. Big. Take measurements. If the scale's not moving, look at your measurements. Look how you're feeling. I weigh every day. Some people do not recommend that. For me, it helps to keep me on track. Plus, if I only weighed once a week or once a month, there might have been a time within that week where I dropped down 1.5 pounds, but I went back up by the next Monday or Sunday or Tuesday or whenever the weekly weigh-in is. So I'm thinking, oh man, I didn't lose any weight. I claim it. When I get a new low, that's how much weight I've lost. I know I will inch up, or nudge up weight-wise, 1/2 pound, pound and a quarter, 0.8 of a pound, whatever. And then, then I'll come down again. That's the way our bodies work. But I claim that lowest weight. So anyway, I weigh every day. Just know that it can happen. Just know that it's not magic. It feels like magic. It's physiology. Keep your carbs below 20 so that you become a sugar burner, not a fat burner. Opposite. Become a fat burner, not a sugar. So keep your carbs low so that you transition into being a fat burner, not a sugar burner. Remember, that's the whole key. Burning body fat. To do that, you need to deprive your liver, essentially, of carbohydrate, which it converts into glucose, which is sugar. So try to do all that. Before I forget, because I have forgotten in other videos, I want to take just a second and thank everyone that has clicked on the support this channel button and contributed. It is so humbling, it is so gratifying, and it really helps. It helps justify, for me, the time it takes to make the videos, do some research, answer questions. I do try to answer every question that comes to me through this channel, my blog, and my Facebook page, and then just random emails that come in, because I think it's very important. The message is very important. So thank you. If you click on support this channel, it is greatly appreciated. Okay, so now, without further ado, I'm going to show these photographs. Again, you may not find them so drastic. I am appalled that I looked like that, was walking around like that. Not that being fat is a personality defect. Didn't make me a bad person. It did make me a deluded person. And the food that I was eating to get there made me an unhealthy person. This is a distinction I want to bring. I had bad blood markers. I was going to be type 2 diabetic. Blood pressure was getting wonky. Triglycerides weren't great. Right down the line, joints hurt. People say, oh, well, that's what happens when you get to be fat. There are people who are quite thin who have exactly all of those same markers and the same inflammation. Think of this. This is the way I think of it. That the body fat is simply another side effect of the nutrition. A side effect some people don't get. You look at a big fat person with poor health, you say, well, of course, you're fat, dummy. You look at a not necessarily overweight person with the exact same health, say, oh, that's so unlucky. You poor thing, bad genetics. No, it's the nutrition. It's just like some of us are allergic to peanuts and some of us aren't. And, some who are allergic to peanuts will get terrible. They'll get hives and, throat will close up. And some people just get a little itchy. It's not a personality defect, the extent to which you have side effects of things that are not good for you. Rant over. Here are the photographs. Thank you for taking the time to watch. And let me know if you have any questions or suggestions. I like the suggestions. Thanks.